Welcome to another edition of On Call. I'm Tabor Aiken, Public Information Officer for the Lakeville Fire Department. The goal of this program is to educate and inform the citizens of Lakeville about how Lakeville's all-volunteer fire department trains and responds to emergencies. Let's take a look at what's coming up on this edition of On Call. We'll meet with Captain Kevin Manius from the Lakeville Police Department and Fire Inspector Jay O'Connell from the Lakeville Fire Department to learn about firework safety. The Chief will talk about scene size up in the Chief's Corner. Ask Tabor features a question from one of our viewers about fire extinguishers. And Did You Know? We'll talk about the mock crash at Lakeville South High School. Scratch is going to find out how he can get his very own Lakeville Fire Department t-shirt. And we'll wrap things up with consumer safety checklist. I'm here at Lakeville Fire Station number 1, talking a little bit about fireworks safety, and I'm here with Captain Kevin Manius from the Lakeville Police Department. Kevin, welcome to On Call.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So we're doing a little bit of a two-part piece here. We're going to start off talking about legal and illegal fireworks with you, and then Fire Inspector Jay O'Connell is going to jump in and talk about fireworks safety with us as well. So let's start off talking about the legal and illegal fireworks, because Minnesota's got a state law about this. So as a resident of Minnesota, and specifically of Lakeville, I want to purchase some fireworks. How do I know what's going to get me in trouble with the cops and what's not going to get me in trouble?
The basically easiest rule of thumb is that if it launches into the air or it explodes, it's illegal.
Okay. So I want it to stay on the ground.
Ground displays are legal. The other thing to keep in mind too, for even if you have what's technically a legal firework, it cannot be used in public areas. It can be only used in private property.
Okay.
So you as a homeowner purchase a bunch of fireworks, you set them up, legal fireworks, you set them up in your driveway, that's okay. You set them up in the street, it's illegal.
And the park would be another area that would be a public place that I can't set those fireworks up in.
Correct.
Okay. So earlier, when you and I were getting set up in the beginning of the show, we've got a variety of different fireworks out here, and my thought was that they were all illegal. And you corrected me and said, no, some of those are legal fireworks. So let's talk a little bit about what we've got here. Why don't you give us a couple of examples of legal fireworks to start off with?
Okay. As far as legal fireworks, if you talk about ground displays, fountains, something that sits on the ground and emits a shower of sparks, or a lot of times it'll have like crackling material that'll make noise, but it does not go high into the air.
Okay.
And these are examples of two, this one here, and both, if you actually take a close look at them, they actually say right on there, emits shower of sparks.
Okay.
That's an indication that it's a ground fountain display.
Okay.
It's not going to launch things into the air, versus this item here, which also sits on the ground. But if you look at the terminology here, that it's actually shooting a flaming object up into the air, this would be an illegal firework in Minnesota.
Okay.
And some of these others are traditional ones that most people are aware of. You've got bottle rockets, which again launch, they're illegal.
Yep.
Roman candle actually shoots out a flaming object, so those are also illegal. Firecrackers are explosive.
Okay.
So now the ground poppers, the things that kids you see a lot of times with, that the small little paper deals that they snap, you throw them on the ground and there's a slight popping noise to it. Those are legal.
Okay.
And this here, you don't see a whole lot of this, but this is when you go to the 4th of July fireworks display, you'll see these commercial displays have large works that get launched up into the air.
Right.
And they're set up exactly like this. That it's a firework that has an actually launching charge on the bottom of it.
Okay.
So this is designed to be set into a launching tube. You light the fuse, back away. The launching charge on the bottom will ignite to send the actual firework far into the air, which will later detonate up in the air.
Sure.
So anything that you see like this, it's kind of a two-stage. This is designed to be launched into the air, and this would be illegal for normal citizens to have.
So, and one of the primary reasons that these are illegal is because of safety, and this to me seems like the primary illustrator of this, because it's a pretty specialized firework, that it would be fairly easy for untrained person who isn't trained in, taking care of launching fireworks to get hurt with something like this, setting it up in the right direction.
Yes.
Would you say, okay.
And even something as simple as the small fireworks.
Sure.
Yeah, the fuse operates faster than they expect, it's still in their hand when
Okay.
it goes off.
Yep.
Even small fireworks like that can do a lot of damage.
Okay. So in the state of Minnesota, is it a safe assumption that only legal fireworks are being sold? You see lots of commercial operations, tents and so forth throughout the city. I know you see a couple of them in Lakeville around July 4th, but other times of the summer as well, that they're only selling legal fireworks as well.
My experience has been that the vendors that you see in
Okay.
Lakeville are displaying for sale legal fireworks.
So if I want to purchase fireworks then and I'm purchasing it within the state of Minnesota, I should be pretty safe. But
Yeah.
when it's going out of your way and driving across the border to Wisconsin or somewhere else, that's where you might run into a problem, is you're getting a different variety there that you could bring back. And
Higher probability, although again, it's worth the time to read, because
Okay.
they're usually marked pretty well.
okay. So let's talk a little bit about the enforcement piece. So I'm a Lakeville citizen, live in Lakeville, and I'm launching some fireworks off in my driveway. They're illegal, and one of my neighbors or somebody calls the police, or a police officer is driving by and observes that and stops in. What would you say is a typical expectation that a citizen should have for enforcement?
If it's the first time that we've dealt with an individual at that residence for a fireworks violation, generally what we will do is confiscate the illegal fireworks.
Okay.
And basically leave it as a warning
Okay.
for the violation. If we end up having repeat occurrences at a residence, then you expectation should be additional confiscation if there are other fireworks that we didn't locate,
Sure.
and then most probably issuance of the citation.
Okay. And this is probably a good opportunity to point out that that's how this collection came about, is that we're looking at fireworks like these that are illegal, that have been confiscated from people who had them in their driveway when a police officer or a fire officer stopped by and had to enforce that,
Yes.
that statute. Excellent. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Kevin. This has been very helpful.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Terrific. And I'm going to head out back and see if I can find Jay O'Connell, and we're going to talk a little bit about firework safety. Hi, Jay. Welcome to On Call. Thanks for joining us here again.
Yep, thank
Kind
you,
of
Taylor.
the repeat performer on On Call. You got a lot of expertise to share with our viewers.
Yep.
Appreciate you joining us. We tapped into the expertise of Kevin from the Lakeville Police Department earlier in the program and talked a little bit about enforcement, what a legal firework, what an illegal firework is. So we want to transition to talking about firework safety. As you know, warm weather, everybody's outside. This is a great opportunity to have some fun. But our emphasis, of course, is safety. We don't want anyone to get hurt while they're out having a good time with the fireworks. So we had a little demonstration here as we were getting started, and have set off a couple of fireworks. So could you tell us a little bit about that before we get started?
Well, with the fireworks that are legal, you want to have a good base, put it on like a hard surface. If it's dry outside, you'd want to pre-wet the ground.
Okay.
But this works great. A driveway is a great spot as long as it's your own property. You can light it off, but once it's out, you want to have a bucket of water ready to douse it in there, because you don't know if everything's gone off or not.
So let's talk about this one then, because this is a legal firework. This is basically a shower of sparks, and as we experienced earlier, a lot of noise.
Larger and more expensive.
So it's gone off. It looks like all the tubes have burned. So what are we going to do with it now?
So now that it is cooled, you'd want to dunk it into the bucket of water.
Okay.
So go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Just make sure you get it good and wet.
All right.
And that's about all you need.
Okay.
Take it out, let it dry, and then you'll want to dispose of it.
Okay. So I'm just going to set it on the ground for now and then throw it away when we're done with the
Right.
program.
The other thing is, like, you may get a wick that pulls out when you're taking the package out.
Okay.
If the wick comes out, don't use that one, because you might get a short wick. It may go off while you're lighting it. The
Okay.
wick is intended to give you some time to get away from the firework before it starts showering its sparks.
Okay.
So-
Excellent. So as was evidenced by that one that we just dunked in the tank, it's got a fair bit of packaging on it. What other packaging needs to come off before I'm ready to light it?
If you look, there's a cellophane wrapper around the side,
Yep.
and that wrapper is holding the wick down.
Okay.
So there's probably 2 layers of cellophane that you want to remove, just make sure that you can get the wick out
Okay.
and up away from the package. That's
Okay.
where you'd want to light the firework.
Well, let's go ahead and open this one up then.
Yep.
And we'll.
And there is some safety precautions on the packaging
Okay.
that tells you should have an adult with you.
Okay.
You don't want children lighting these off, because if a problem does happen, the firework may fall over on you, something like that.
Okay.
Because you're trying to get away from it quickly. Straighten up the wick.
So some information there too about the caution, the heat. It gives us a little information about that as well.
Yep, and here's one that says adult supervision for outdoor use only. Place on a level surface. Do not hold in your hand. Very good safety tip.
Okay. All right. So should we take this one out and set this one up?
Sure, you
Okay.
you got the wick away,
Got
you
the
got
wick up.
the cellophane off.
So let's talk about this a little bit before I go ahead and set it up. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to light it, and how long am I going to stand there after the fuse is going?
As soon as you see that the flame is starting to go down the fuse towards the firework, move away.
Okay. And so that would be true for a group. So if I've got my family outside or something like that, I'm going to move my family. We're going to
I'd
back
still
up and
keep
give it a little
about
room.
15 to 20 feet away from the firework
Okay.
as a safety margin.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get this one set up. Okay.
Okay, so you want to light it.
Okay. And we've got a good natural environment today where it's
Yep.
raining outside.
The hard surface, the ground's wet.
Okay. So we're going to
you
back
just want
away
to
from
back
that.
away.
And there we go. Well, that was a pretty good demonstration there, Jay. Kind of fun to watch it go and safe.
Now, since that one's still smoking, you definitely want to dunk it
Okay.
into the water. Once
All right.
again, get it way down in. Yep. All right, Tabor, I'd still like to talk about sparklers.
Okay.
People think that these are really safe, but when you light a sparkler, these can get up in upwards of 1,500 degrees for temperature.
Wow.
And people are holding it in their hands. If you
Okay.
get that down on your hand, you could burn yourself.
Sure.
I always like to have people put them into the grass.
Okay.
That way you can still see the sparkler. If it's dark out, you're going to get the full effect of the sparkler.
Okay.
Without the danger of it landing on your skin.
And then with it being that hot, upwards of 1,500 degrees, and you're waving it around, of course, there's just more possibility for you to hit
Another
someone or
thing,
touch
if you're
somebody.
waving it around, you may drop it. You know, somebody may inadvertently let go of it because the spark hits them.
Sure.
Now it lands on somebody else.
Okay.
It's just better to put it in the ground and look at it that way.
And the weather's really helped us out today, Jay. Being outside, it's been raining off and on while we've been talking today and creating that wet surface for us. But with that last firework and then with the sprinkler, you can really see the importance of having that wet surface area, especially you were describing putting this in the grass. We're going to create that, we're just minimizing that opportunity for another fire to
A
start.
grass fire. The fire department does respond to quite a few grass fires. So yes, if you pre-wet the ground, then you put it in, then you'll be much safer.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for helping keep us safe out there and giving us some information about fireworks safety. It was greatly appreciated. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
We're extending an invitation for our viewers to send us in a question about anything having to do with the fire department. Later in our program, I'm going to read a question that I got from one of our viewers, answer the question, and for sending it in, he's going to win a Lakeville Fire Department t-shirt. If you'd like to participate, send us your question using the email address or the mailing address on your screen.
Hi, I'm R the Raccoon.
And I'm Georgette the Frog, here to talk to you about using your child safety car seats correctly.
Yeah. Make sure the car seat is secured tightly.
No wiggle room.
Check the harness strap for tightness.
Good and tight. Oh, oh my.
Ouch. The harness clip should be at armpit level.
Do frogs have armpits? Pew.
And it's safer for children under 13 to ride in the back seat.
Hi.
Hey, you better get buckled up.
Oh. Hey, if a frog and a raccoon can buckle up,
So can you.
Yeah, you.
No, you.
No, you.
Did you know that the Lakeville Fire Department was invited to participate in the mock crash? This is an every other year event held 1 year at Lakeville North High School and then the alternating year at Lakeville South High School. This year it was hosted by the Students Against Drunk Driving organization at Lakeville South High School. The Lakeville Fire Department participated in this event along with the State Police, the Lakeville Police Department, North Memorial Helicopter, Merrick's Towing, and White's Funeral Home. And the purpose of the event is to raise awareness with juniors and seniors in high school prior to their prom about the impacts that drinking and driving can have on them as well as on other people. This can be a very powerful event, and on behalf of all of the individuals involved in it, we hope that it makes an impact on the students and that it helps them make safe choices about drinking and driving.
Hi, Chief Scott Nelson here with another segment of Chief's Corner. Today I'm here with my Assistant Chief, Mike Meyer, and we're going to be discussing why we respond in these smaller vehicles to different types of emergencies and what the role of the chief officers, the two district chiefs, the assistant chiefs, and myself are as far as when we respond to calls. So Mike, why do you respond in a vehicle such as this rather than on the big truck?
We have these vehicles that we take home so that we can leave from our house or wherever we might be during the day, then we can be at the scene faster and give a good size up for the crews coming in as far as what we may need, whether it's a medical or a fire or a hazmat call. We're first there to let everybody know what's happening and what's going on. We're trying to paint a picture for the other crews coming in so they can understand what they have to do when they get there.
Well, Mike, can you expand a little bit on that size up? What specifically does the term size up mean? Do you walk around the building, or
Yep.
what kind of detail do you give the incoming units?
On a structure fire, when we first get there, if it's a house on fire, we'll do a 360 or walk completely around the house. We'll give a size up as far as where we see the fire or smoke coming from. If the homeowners are home, we'll catch them, find out to make sure that everybody's out of the house. If not, then we have to gear our operations towards rescue instead of extinguishing the fire, and whether we're going to be in an offensive mode as far as we're going to actually go inside the structure and attack the fire, or we're going to be defensive and stay outside and just control the fire from the outside of the structure.
So are you able to, first on the scene, are you able to give assignments to the incoming apparatus as they arrive?
Correct. Depending on what we see, we're going to give the assignments. If we want them to go into the structure, we're going to ask the first due engine to come in, stretch their lines, and start attacking the fire, whether it's the first floor, basement, or where the fire is in the house. Medical-wise, if we're on a medical call, we're going to give the crews assignments if we need them to help with the ambulance as far as bring in the gurney, set up IV lines, or if I need people to come in and help treat the patient with the lineup.
Wow, that kind of explains it for me for size up, but could you take a few minutes and maybe explain what your vehicle carries?
The vehicles just we have our fire gear just like the firefighters wear that you'll see coming off the big trucks. The green bag is our medical bag, so we do carry oxygen. We can do some basic first aid treatment if we beat the ambulance to the call, so we can start that. A bunch of books that we carry for information if we have to do mutual aid or we're getting into a bigger scene. There's some our scene size up board and stuff that we'll use for making sure that we have everything done, and then on the back we carry all of our PAR tags for the crews that are operating at the scene. We've got an extinguisher, some road flares if we're at a traffic accident. Every firefighter has a safety vest, so when we're out on the roadway on vehicle accidents, we should be wearing our vests to protect us so that we're visible to the driving public.
Wow, and that's kind of the hands-on kind of stuff that you use. Perhaps take a couple minutes and explain about what's in your front console as far as your computer and how that helps you at scenes.
All right, at the front we have obviously our radios that we talk to. We have a portable, and then there's also a mobile one that's permanently in the vehicle. We have a computer up front, which is our MDC, so when we assign ourselves or we go en route to a call, our Empire DCC assigns us a call, so we get the information of the address that we're going to and any information that they have regarding that call, whether it's a medical or a fire or hazmat calls. And then we'll also see the other units that are en route as far as the fire department goes.
So you're able to see what units are coming, and also you're able to communicate with the communication center as well as other chief officers who have the computers as well, and police, as a matter of fact, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So that helps us to keep that line of communication open, because the one thing that I know in my experience as chief is it's so important to have good communication when you're setting up at the scene, because if you don't have that, you might set things up wrong and do improper size ups, and that first initial size up, if you will, is so critical in successful scene operations, isn't it?
Our scene size up really sets the pace as far as if we get everything laid out to how we are in our minds of how we're going to want things to go, and then we communicate that to the incoming units. That's going to determine how our operations go. And our scene size up usually starts when you get in the vehicle and going en route. If the police are there first, they're going to give a little bit of what they see, maybe even locate a hydrant for us, so we'll know a hydrant location. And then once we get there, then we're going to go a little more in depth towards the fire side. The police do a very good job for us as far as if there's homeowners to let us know that the house is either occupied or that everybody's out. And then we just re-verify that when we get there. So our communication, like I said, our scene size up starts initially when we get in, going en route, and then depending on what we may hear from either the police or from Empire, our dispatch center, we may upgrade or ask for more manpower, more stations to come, or even a mutual aid, auto aid situation that we may need a lot more people.
Well, Mike, thank you. You know, one other thing that we also do is make sure that we document the calls, and I know that in each of these vehicles we have digital cameras, as do the police officers, and that's also very helpful for us to establish the cause of the fire and whatnot. So with that, we have a good arsenal of technology and equipment so that we can get started on the right foot at these types of emergencies.
Correct.
So, well, from Chief's Corner, this is Chief Scott Nelson.
During Minnesota's storm season, Sirens in Dakota County will warn residents about severe weather. Dispatchers at the Dakota Communication Center can activate these sirens if there's a severe thunderstorm or tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service, or if a law enforcement officer advises activating the system. When you hear the siren, do not hesitate. Move to a place of shelter immediately. Move quickly when sirens sound.
And now it's time for you, the viewer, to ask a question, where you have the chance to win a t-shirt in another exciting edition of Ask Tabor.
We're trying something a little new. We're inviting our viewers to send us a question via email or mail it into the Lakeville Fire Department. We're looking through some of those questions that we get, picking one, and reading it on the air and answering it. And for your troubles, if your question is selected, we'll give you a Lakeville Fire Department t-shirt. So, I've got our first question. This is from Matt in Lakeville, and Matt writes, "Dear Tabor, my question is regarding when to recharge a fire extinguisher. The gauge can read undercharged, charged, and overcharged. Should you get it recharged even if it still reads charged? It's been over a year since it's been serviced." Matt. Well, Matt, that's a great question. We're going to talk about two different kinds of fire extinguishers to answer your question, residential and commercial. If you're purchasing a residential fire extinguisher from any home improvement or hardware store, you do not need to have it recharged. As long as the needle is in the green, the fire extinguisher should be good. When you're purchasing that fire extinguisher, you want to look to make sure that it's an ABC extinguisher, which means that it's good on trash, wood, and paper. B would be liquids, and then C would be electrical equipment or items with electrical current. And you'll see that that's pretty clearly marked on the fire extinguisher. The other piece you may want to look for is a fire extinguisher with a metal handle. This is going to keep the pressure in the extinguisher a little bit longer, and it also allows somebody to do service to the extinguisher. Extinguishers that have plastic handles are more likely to be disposable and may not be able to be serviced. Again, as long as that needle's in the green charged area, the extinguisher should be ready to use. If it's a commercial extinguisher that you're using, it's going to be a little bit different because that extinguisher has to be serviced each year. And as you can see with this one, it's got a tag on it. This tag needs to be updated each year, and then after 6 years, the extinguisher has to be hydro tested, which means it's going to be opened, all the chemicals are going to be emptied, new chemicals going to be filled in, and the extinguisher is going to be recharged. So hopefully that answers your question, Matt. If you're looking for a place to get an extinguisher recharged or serviced, most hardware facilities will help you out with that. Thanks for writing us, and we hope you enjoy your new t-shirt.
everybody, it's me, Scratch the Fire Dog, and I like to scratch out the fires. Hey, I'm so confused, everybody. I heard about this cool contest about the Ask a Tabor question, and you could win a t-shirt. And when I went and submitted a question, they said, hey, Scratch, you can't submit a question. You're part of the city department. You know, it's got to be someone outside of the department. Boy, was I ticked off about that. So, you know what? I've decided I'm gonna go around the city and try and find a t-shirt myself. Yeah, so let's go find one. Hey, this is the first place where I'm gonna try and see if they got the fire department t-shirt. So let's head on inside and get us a t-shirt. Yeehaw! I can't believe it. They don't have any Lakeville Fire Department t-shirts. But hey, they got tons of other things, but hey, I want my t-shirt. I better go to another spot and see if I can find one. Oh, this is absolutely incredible. Hey, I've come to the shopping center. I went to the video store, the hair clip place, the sub place, even the coffee shop, and I can't find a t-shirt anywhere. This is absolutely unbelievable. I know. Maybe I'll ask some passing cars if they know where I can get a t-shirt. Hey, wait for me, buddies! Hey, buddy, can you tell me I can get a t-shirt? Hey, come on, I just need to find out where I can find a fire department t-shirt. Hey, can you tell me where I can get a fire department t-shirt? Hey, I'm just trying to find out where the fire department t-shirt is. Hey, look it, this is not working. Maybe I just need to call someone at the fire station and find out where I can get a fire department t-shirt. Oh, let's go on getting tired. Hey, this is me, Scratch the Fire Dog. Yeah, I'm trying to find out where I can get a Lakeville Fire Department t-shirt. You're kidding! Well, I'll be down right away. I'm gonna head down to fire station number 1. Hey, let's go! Hey, here we are at fire station number 1. I'm going to head inside the door, get me my new t-shirt, and get rid of this cape. It's gonna be so cool. Here we go! Look at that! I Scratch the Fire Dog. Oh, I finally got my own LFD t-shirt. Oh, this is fantastic. I want to thank all the members of the Academy and everybody that made it possible, from my mom and to my dad and all the other little puppies. So hey, until next time, everyone, this is a Scratch the Fire Dog wearing his new LFD t-shirt. We'll see you next time, because I like to scratch out the fires. Now that I got a t-shirt, hey, maybe I can get them to give me a helmet. Oh! The plans, the cogs, they're working inside my mind. Ho ho! This is great. See you next time. Bye.
Conair Corporation of Stamford, Connecticut announces the recall of about 45,000 clothing irons. Conair has received 3 reports of overheating, including 2 fires, resulting in property damage. These irons were sold at department and retail stores nationwide from October 2008 through March 2009 for about $50. Consumers should immediately unplug and stop using the recalled clothing irons and contact Conair to receive a comparable product. You can contact Conair at 1-800-687-6916 or visit the firm's website at www.conair.com. Best Buy Company Incorporated of Richfield, Minnesota announces the recall of about 13,000 Insignia 26-inch flat-panel LCD model televisions. These televisions' power supplies can fail, posing a fire and burn hazard to consumers. These TVs were sold at Best Buy stores nationwide and at www.bestbuy.com and www.bestbuyforbusiness.com from August 2005 through June 2006 for about $800. Consumers should immediately stop using the recalled televisions and contact the Best Buy hotline to receive a gift card for the value of a replacement television. You can contact Best Buy at 800-233-0462 or visit the firm's website at www.bestbuy.com. Attico International USA Incorporated of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, announces the recall of about 500,000 Signature Gourmet 12-cup programmable coffee makers and Kitchen Gourmet 10-cup coffee makers. These coffee makers can ignite due to an electrical failure, posing a fire hazard to consumers. These coffee makers were sold at Walgreens stores nationwide. The Signature Gourmet 12-cup programmable coffee maker from June 2004 through March 2009 for about $20, and the Kitchen Gourmet 10-cup coffee maker from August 2006 through December 2008 for about $10. Consumers should immediately unplug and stop using the recalled coffee makers and contact Attico toll-free at 877-546-4835 or visit the company's website at www.atticousa.com. GE Consumer and Industrial of Louisville, Kentucky announces the recall of about 28,000 GE Profile freestanding dual fuel ranges. The wiring in the rear of the range can overheat, posing a fire and burn hazard to consumers. These ranges were sold at department and appliance stores nationwide from June 2002 through December 2005 for between $1,300 and $2,000. Consumers should immediately stop using the oven and contact GE for a free repair. For additional information, you can contact GE toll-free at 888-352-9764 or visit the company's website at www.geappliances.com.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of On Call. If you have questions, comments, an idea for a show, or a question for Ask Tabor, feel free to give us a call at 952-985-4700 or send me an email using the address on your screen. Thanks for joining us. All fire units are clear.